Companies and leaders need to understand that digitalisation is not so much about technology as it is about people and processes. And what we see now is the speed of the changes is accelerating. There is dramatic shifts in fundamental technologies as transportation, energy, materials, foods and even communication. And even though these shifts represent big opportunities, it's very challenging for companies to adjust to these changes. So we need to actually use the crisis to change into a more sustainable and resilient future. Halogen is a transdisciplinary design agency. Design is really a combination between logic thinking and creative thinking. Designers are very good at conceptualizing the new futures or imagining new futures. But we also try to be very pragmatic and business-oriented with our clients. So all the things that we are trying to look into the future to make is also possible to implement in practice.
I can just briefly explain what a safety critical system is. It is a system or a product or a service that is used in high-risk environments. And that could be subsea, navigation at sea, even airplanes, medical and defense systems, where the consequences could be a loss of life, damage to the environment, or even financial consequences.
Fish farming is a huge and growing industry that is facing the reality that their own waste products is suffocating their growth potential. This is a problem that is on an industry-wide or even a societal level and is really hard to tackle from the vantage point of a single business.
In this project that we are doing with Aqua Resurs, we are trying to utilize the sludge that today is part of the big pollution problem. We are trying to look into how can we utilize the sludge into becoming valuable nutrition maybe for another value chain.
The way we have investigated this is through collaboration with multiple businesses and governments that are involved in this domain, using systems-oriented design to try to find the common problems, the commonalities that they all know are important for their own future, and facilitating processes and orchestrating common goals in these areas. Now this is significant because this, as far as we know, is one of the only ways that a business can actively take charge of its own future rather than sitting back and waiting for government regulations. The potential that we're able to find in these ecosystems have industry-wide implications and are the basis for really interesting new business models if you're able to find them.
The SUBMARINE project demonstrates, I think, one core aspect, and that is our philosophy, what for whom, before how. So we started that project by involving ourselves with the submariners. We had 15 days where we lived aboard a submarine, observing them, monitoring them, understanding how they live, how they work, how they communicate. We used that again as a baseline to start to build up our analysis. And then through that analysis phase, we also involved the submariners, validating our findings. And then through the entire design process, from conceptual development, design work, detail design, even prototyping, we had the operators with us the entire time.
The products and the solutions that we design is going to be used by operators that are still not yet born. So the products need to last for more than 30 years. And that is quite demanding when you're going to design something for the future. We ended up not only designing the whole concept for the submarine control room, but also redesigning completely the operation philosophy. A digital twin is a complete digital model of any physical asset. And it's mostly used in operations where you try to make the operation maybe more safer or more efficient. Halogen has been working with Kongsberg Digital from the early beginning when they started out defining what is a digital twin, how can we use it, and then we have together with them been partnering up in designing, prototyping and developing the twin.
Halogen really helps us design an experience around CogniTwin. So they're really fun, they're enthusiastic, and they slot in so well to our product team, and they just help us support and develop CogniTwin. They're tightly integrated into our product team, and they look at the user experience, the technology, they help us with grooming use stories with our customers, and yeah, it's just the pace that they can push us on the design front. It's been working very, very well.
I find digital twins to be very important when we talk about how do we rethink the allocation between humans and machines. I think that the digital twins could easily be the humans' best friends in the future. Andøya Space has the ambition to become Europe's first spaceport for small satellites. Halogen is a proud design partner, and we are helping them with designing the launch operation as well as service design.
We are working with Andøya Space on their critical systems, making sure that what is essentially a very, very dangerous operation functions smoothly and efficiently. The problem with automation is that there are incentives there to hand over too much responsibility to these systems too soon, and ignoring the passion, the experience, the intelligence of skilled operators. It might be really, really dangerous. And this is a big part of our job, getting that balance right. Increasingly, businesses are understanding the enormity of the changes we are facing, and they're finding that the normal way of doing things, the analytical process, isn't bringing them the results they need. And this turns more clients our way and is expanding our business.
We need to change the mindsets. The biggest factor I think that companies need to focus on is the capability to change. Because if you are not able to change fast, I actually think that your company is going to die. We need to trust our process. We need to understand that our process is going to deliver the best result, and our clients need to trust us as well. You could say that integrity is on the line every day, and if we fail, people can die. That is why we don't fail.